Hello, chef, or soon to be chefs. Welcome to the cooking lesson. We're going to start off with something simple. If you don't know how the skill books work yet, they will increase your experience multiplier for each bracket of experience. So volume 1 is level 1 and 2, 2 is 3 and 4, and so on. Cooking is a skill that you're going to use a lot. If you're surviving a long time, you will need cooking. So it's recommended, if you want to really boost that experience up, to get your hands on these books. Let's start with the basics. Very simple things, like this watermelon. You could just chow it down as it is, but you can also slice that watermelon. And now you have 10 slices. And you can break down this dangerous meat. Simply click on the catfish, rabbit, rat, whatever, and butcher the animal, and you will be rewarded with some rabbit meat, or fish fillets, or rodent meat, or whatever. Now, beyond that very simple basic, we're going to make a salad. You can make regular salads, or fruit salads. They will require a bowl. So if we want to make a regular salad, go ahead and add in some lettuce. Next, we will add some mayonnaise as a spice. We are simply going to add some radishes. And as you add more and more ingredients, it will increase the amount of hunger that it satiates. You'll also increase the amount of boredom and unhappiness that it cures by adding more diverse ingredients. If you were to add just a bunch of lettuce, anything beyond 3. So we are at, with 3, you can see with 3, hunger is -18, boredom and unhappiness are -4. As you duplicate the amount of ingredients that are in a dish, your character will find them less interesting, less enjoyable, and so you'll get less of that benefit of curing boredom and unhappiness. Now, if we just add ourselves some carrots and zucchini, voila, there you have a beautiful salad. If you want to do the same with a fruit salad, just choose whichever ingredients that you want to add. And you can add things like oil or herbs or peppers or tomato paste. These will all increase the amount of happiness without taking up those slots, the 6 slots, to make the actual food. So if we add some cilantro, you can see unhappiness and boredom even better. But you didn't come here to learn to make a salad, did you? No, that's not why you're here. But next, we must talk about soup. You'll need an empty cooking pot or a saucepan. Go to your sink, fill your empty cooking pot with some water, and as you can see, you can create either a stew or a soup. It doesn't really matter. And you can see all of the different ingredients that we can add. We can also add things like lentils. And as you can see, lentils are quite good for your hunger. You can also select to add random game or vegetables. If you don't really care, simply right click and add random. As you can see, this soup is quite hearty already. You don't have to max it out every time, so just toss that soup right into the oven, turn it on, and let a little time pass. And voila! Cooked soup, safe to eat. And as long as the burning bar doesn't fill all the way up, you are golden. You can also cook on campfires and in antique stoves, but we're not going to get too deep in the weeds on that. Another great use for bowls is to make a bowl of cereal. Just have some cereal and some milk. Now, if you add some water to that bowl, you can make yourself some oatmeal. It just takes a can of oats and some water. Now, once again, we will fill up our bowl with some water. We're going to make some pancakes, but pancakes are a little special. We're going to need ourselves a fork, a spoon, or a spatula, and we can make a pancake. And I think you understand by this time. Toss those delicious pancakes in the oven, turn it on, and there you go. Now you can add whatever you want, fruit or icing or cocoa powder or syrup. Maple syrup pancakes. perfect for any morning. Next, let's move on to our mugs. We can use this to create beverages. You can, of course, add lots of spices, as always. You can make it from a tea bag, from coffee, or from cocoa powder. In this case, we're simply going to pick a tea bag. Now you have a tea beverage that is uncooked. While you can consume it uncooked because it does not contain any harmful ingredients, if you were to simply put it in the oven and heat it up, and there you go. You have yourself a piping hot cup of tea. Perfect for any day of the week. Now let's get a little bit more exciting here. We're going to grab some flour, again our bowl of water. Next, we're going to go over some of the more exciting recipes. This is going to have a lot of ingredients, but click on your bowl, and as long as you have a baking sheet, a rolling pin, some baking soda, cocoa powder, water, and flour, well, you can make some chocolate cookie dough. And as you can see, you can add all sorts of different ingredients to make different types of cookies. I think we will make some chocolate chip cookies, which will require the standard cookie ingredients as well as some chocolate chips. We have a baking tray with chocolate chip cookies. Now you can eat this raw, it is perfectly safe, but again, isn't a hot cookie always a little better than a cold cookie? Take them out of the oven, get 6 cookies, and you get your baking tray back. You also are left with 6 perfectly delicious chocolate chip cookies that you can share with all of your friends. Now I think we should talk about some magazines very quickly. Good Cooking Magazines Volume 1 and Volume 2. Very simple. It unlocks a lot of extra recipes. Now, because I am a chef, I already know these recipes. But if you are not a chef, simply get these magazines and you can cook like the best of them. Now, we want to make some dough. And not just any dough, but we want to make a special dough. You can see we've got flour, milk, eggs, oil, yeast, baking soda. We have all the ingredients. But when we click on our water bowl, it's not here. That's because Project Zomboid is janky. You need to go into your crafting screen and select the one that you want. In this case, we simply want to make some bread dough. You will require yeast, an empty bowl, a rolling pin, some water, and some salt, as well as a utensil to stir with. We will just craft one here. We have dough that is safe to eat, but you will not enjoy it very much. We could add some cheese, some icing, or some fruit jam to make a special loaf of bread. Next, we will take some pie dough, and we can place this pie in a baking dish. Now we have a pie preparation. Now you can make any kind of pie that your heart desires. You can make a savory pie or a sweet pie. That is up to you. We're going to make a sweet pie out of some mango, orange, and why not a little icing. Turn on the oven and you have yourself a cooked, delicious pie, which you can then slice up and share with all of your friends once again. You'll be the talk of the town if you are the one making all the baked goods. We have come to the main event. That's right, I'm talking about pizza. In order to make pizza dough, you have to click the rolling pin. Simply click Make Pizza, and I think we will just make one. And here we have a fresh pizza uncooked. But once again, we can add as many ingredients as we want. So let's add a little marinara, let's add some hot peppers, and let's add some fish. Here's the thing about Project Zomboid. This is a very strange pizza. But in Project Zomboid, it sure beats canned food every day, so no matter what you add, it's going to decrease your unhappiness and boredom. And of course, it would just go in the oven. Condiments. If you have a fresh pizza, you can just add random condiments. It doesn't matter what condiments you put into your pizza, into your soups, into your salads. All of this will work just fine. It will increase your hunger a little bit, if it does at all, but it will greatly increase how much happiness and boredom that it gives you. And there's no restriction. As long as you have another condiment to put on there, you can just keep adding. So as you can see, we have added marinara, hot peppers, tomato paste, hot sauce, some vinegar, and some salt with our fish pizza. But that's okay. Look how great this pizza is. Now it is dangerous uncooked, and if you eat this pizza, it will kill you. Now, what I just said applies most of the time. If you have traits like iron gut, things like lemongrass, as you can see, lemongrass, which you will get from foraging, will soothe bouts of food poisoning. So if you eat something that is dangerous uncooked, you can sometimes survive by simply powerhousing some lemongrass. We have just a couple more recipes to go, and that involves the frying pan. The frying pan is wonderful. You can put just about anything you want into your stir fry. We could put a little bit of bacon. It can be frustrating when cooking that as you add ingredients, the container you're using, whether it's a saucepan or a stir fry pan or what have you, it just moves around in your inventory. That's the price you pay for flavor. One dish that I find very useful, and with Build 42 on the way and the introduction of chickens, you will be able to get an unlimited supply of eggs. By following a simple rule of not adding more than 3, you can make yourselves a happy little stir fry, and you can use up all those extra eggs. Now, as you can see, we have burnt rodent meat. This is somewhat dangerous to eat. Burnt food can indeed kill you. If we just snack this down and wait a little bit of time, you will notice that you're starting to get some discomfort, and your health will start to go down. Burnt food won't always kill you, and here is where iron gut can really come in handy. We have just one more topic to cover. Stale food is still safe to eat just as it is, but if you were to create a fruit salad with some strawberries that are stale, just by putting the strawberries into a bowl, you have made it reduce your unhappiness rather than increase it. Alright kids, we need to talk about rotten food. You couldn't consume fast enough or cook fast enough, and now your food's gone bad. Not stale bad, fully bad. Even when it's cooked, it is still dangerous to eat. Or is it? If you have 7 skill points, you can kind of get away with it. Now, if you're an absolute lad and you just start powerhousing some rotten food, you're still generally going to be okay. But if you don't have 7 cooking, as you saw, a Moodle popped up and we got a little queasy, but nothing too bad. Hi, it's me and I'm on a different character now. As you can see, this character only has 4 cooking. We need to eat some rotten food, so I can show you why it's not necessarily the best idea. We'll just eat 1 rotten burger, and we will kick the speed into overdrive. You can see we've got the queasy Moodle, but our health isn't going down. We're mostly okay. That is because of the way that rotten food works. I'll put a link in the description going over all of the math and the science that CO Salt was kind enough to do a deep dive on. It comes down to this. If you eat less than 33 hunger of rotten food, you will most likely survive. That is because there is a hidden variable called poison. If the poison strength is higher than 100, and it is measured by hunger times 3. If it's less than 100, and your current poison level is at 0, this food will absolutely make you feel awful. You will get queasy, and it even can kill you. If we just eat 1 rotten burger, we get a little bit feverish, we get a little bit queasy, but we're generally okay. So let's eat a second burger, putting us to 22 hunger from rotten food, which would put you at about 66 poison strength. Now we will crank up the speed, and as you can see, We're not feeling great. We are definitely queasy and all of the side effects of that. But we're not dying. Poison lasts for 12 hours before it will basically clear your system entirely. We are actually okay because we have eaten less than 33 hunger. Let's go ahead and eat this rotten burger now for 11. And once again, you can see our body is very much fighting this food poisoning. You see that? That was when the food poisoning kicked in, but it wasn't enough to kill us. You can absolutely get away with eating some rotten food, but I wouldn't rely on it too much. Having skills like weak stomach or iron gut will definitely affect how much rotten food that you can eat. And even though it's been a while since we ate that rotten food, we're still kind of getting over it. Still a bit queasy, but our health is no longer tanking. You can also cook with rotten food, though I don't know how much I would recommend it. Just keep an eye on how much hunger level from rotten food you're putting into your dish. And just remember not to go too far overboard when you're eating all of those tasty rotten treats. Because if you do, well, you can say goodbye to your run. But that's it from me. If you know a little bit more about how eating rotten food works, after all, this guide is 2 years old, let me know in the comments, and if your comment is great, I will pin it to the top. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hug your loved ones today. I really appreciate y'all, and I will see you next time. Take care.